Plants without soil. Picture a garden overflowing with beautiful plants. What do you see? You probably envision rows of vegetables, flowers, or other plants growing in soil. After all, plants need soil to anchor their root systems below the ground. Soil also contains nutrients, which provide some of the necessary energy and food plants need to grow. Knowing this, would it surprise you to learn that plants can actually grow without soil? The science of growing plants without soil is called hydroponics, and it's been around for centuries. Plants grown using this system require only sunlight, air, and water to thrive. The history of hydroponics. The first mention of hydroponics was found in a book published in 1627, almost 400 years ago. Many years later, scientists began using hydroponics to cultivate plants in a laboratory, which made it easier for students to observe and store plants in a soil free environment. In 1929, a scientist in California announced a new theory that would extend hydroponics beyond the laboratory setting. He theorized that this fancy new system could be used in agriculture and that farmers could use hydroponics to grow their crops. Sounds interesting, but how exactly does hydroponics work? How hydroponics work. In a traditional garden, the two main purposes of soil are to support the plant and provide nutrients. These are pretty important purposes. So, how do hydroponic systems achieve them without using soil? Several methods are used to accomplish this. The simplest method is to place the plants in a tank of water that has had nutrients, such as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and small amounts of other minerals added to it. This is called a static system because the water does not move. However, sitting in water for long periods of time can damage the plant's roots. To prevent damage, more sophisticated systems use a pump to transfer fresh water through a system of tubes. This system usually runs by gravity, with a tank of nutrient filled water flowing down over the roots of the plants. Another system, called aeroponics, sprays a mist of nutrient infused water over the plant's roots, both moving water and spraying water to allow oxygen to get to the plant's roots, which makes for healthier growing. A useful option. It is more expensive to use hydroponics instead of the traditional soil based system to cultivate plants, but there are also many benefits to hydroponics. The first is that hydroponics allows people to grow plants in smaller places. Instead of acres of farmland, crops can grow in smaller containers of water. In addition, hydroponics allows plants to be grown in places where traditional gardening would be impossible. These places include crowded cities, areas with poor soil or climate, and frozen habitats such as Antarctica. Using a hydroponics method, plants could even grow in a space station or space colony on another planet. Another benefit of growing plants hydroponically is that it reduces the number of crop damaging insects and other pests, which means a decreased need to use pesticides and poisons. Oddly enough, hydroponic systems use less water than the traditional ones. How can that be? The water in hydroponic systems can be reused, and this benefits our planet resources. It's also worth mentioning that hydroponic plants grow faster than plants in a traditional garden. That means larger crops in a shorter amount of time. Hydroponics and the future. Hydroponics can benefit our planet today and in the future. One of the greatest challenges we face is how to feed a growing population with a shrinking amount of available land. Hydroponics provide a different and clever answer. We can use hydroponics to produce the food and plants we need quickly with less water. New technology and innovations may well make hydroponics even more beneficial and efficient in the future, helping to make a better, greener world.